Hey, how have you been, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is a new series I'm starting on the channel, and I have seen this to some extent before. I had just to some minorish extent. I've seen the first and the second episodes before. I watched the first episode about 5 times. I've watched this episode, the second episode, about twice. And the reason I've seen these episodes so many times is because each time I get to the second episode and then I forget, I just lose, I just don't have time any other day to actually proceed to the third and fourth episodes, and then each time it just the gap between having watched the show and not having watched the show gets bigger, and it just forces me to have to restart through the show. So yeah, so I wanted to do a reaction. I figured, what, it might be best to do a reaction to the show. That way I can actually get fully invested in it. I can share it with you guys, and you guys can help me out with understanding stuff, because this is one of the few Marvel TV shows I'm actually not up to date on or not watching. So I figured it would be good for me to get into this and Agent Carter. I started Agent Carter a while back. That is still happening. It is returning. But this, I've heard a lot of good stuff about this show. A lot of good stuff. It's I've heard it's one of the better Marvel TV shows out there. But yeah, I think this came out I think this is one of the biggest shows that actually properly ties into how the MCU itself is run, what with the events and references and all of that stuff. And this one came out just after the Avengers, so this one is properly set after the Battle of New York, from the first Avengers film and all of that stuff. But yeah, I think episode 1, I considered doing a reaction to it, but I've seen that enough times to actually remember what happens and to know what happens, so that wouldn't be much of a reaction. But for episode 2 and onwards, my mind is blank enough for there to still be some reaction-worthy reactions, so I figured it'd be best to actually go from here through to the rest of the show. I think I did hear that the new season coming out is probably going to be the final one. I think it was a rumor when I heard it. I don't know if that's actually been confirmed or not, but I think I did hear something on Twitter about the next one being considered to be the final one, or it being the final one, or something like that. So yeah, so again, great time to get into the show, just about when it's about to end. But I do know the rough gist of this show. It is a team comprised of agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., run by Phil Coulson, who we did in fact see die in Marvel's The Avengers, but he was brought back due to some I think some alien stuff, they experimented, they brought him back with some experimental alien DNA or something. There was a whole thing behind it. I don't know. Again, my mind is blank, just too blank enough to actually not know what the fuck actually went on with that. But there was some experimental alien stuff going on that they used to bring him back, and then he did come back. So now he has been tasked by Nick Fury himself to actually lead a team of agents behind the scenes for the smaller threats that are not quite Avengers level, but still need to be sorted out. They still need to be sorted out. So that team is led by Phil Coulson. We also have Agent Melinda May, who I think is the pilot usually. I think in the last episode we saw her, she was doing some piloting, but she's also a kick-ass agent, literally. She literally kicks ass. We also have Fitzsimmons, who together, I think that's their ship name or something, but separately they are Leopold Fitz. Now correct me if I'm wrong on that one. I didn't Google it because I was afraid I'd run into spoilers. But Leopold Fitz, I think, is his actual name, and also Gemma Simmons. So together they are the science and tech duo of this particular team. So there's them, and then there's the newest recruit who we met in the pilot episode, who is Skye, who we are introduced to her as a hacker, hacktivist type person who's kind of you know, behind the scenes of actually investigating all of these super people and all of that stuff, and you know, she's aware of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all, and like how well they cover stuff up, and trying to get to the bottom of that stuff. So I think, like, I mean, I think maybe as a conspiracy theorist, I think she would kind of count, because she does have that, like, she did have that radio thing going on where she like modulated her voice and she sent out all these messages and whatnot. And also a new recruit into the team is Agent Ward, who just completed his training, I believe. And he is a muscular dude who does not want to look weak in front of beautiful women, as he so eloquently stated in the first episode himself. But yeah, that. What else is there? I think, I know, because this is one of the bigger Marvel TV shows, I think this does have pretty consistent kind of tie-ins with the movies, and I think I am aware of one of them. I think I am aware of the Winter Soldier thing. I think there's like, I think that has something to do with Hydra. I know Hydra plays a big role in this show. Like, again, back when it started, I tried to get into it, only got 2 episodes in. Then it took like another year and a half for me to try and get into it, and then again I only got 2 episodes in. Like, the furthest I've gotten into this show is literally 2 episodes. That's it. And each time I tried to watch the show, like, it was like 4 or 5 times I tried to watch it, and I just, like, not because it was bad, but again, my mind is a jumbly place, and a lot of stuff goes in. There's a lot of shows I'm trying to watch, and I can't fit in all of them. So yeah, like, I watch a few episodes at a time. Like, I do not have the time or the energy to just sit down and binge an entire series or an entire show. Like, in very, very, very rare occasions do I have the time to actually, or do I have the enthusiasm to binge an entire series of a show. But this show unfortunately did not make that particular cut. So yeah, and anyway, I feel like, you know, sharing this with you guys as well. I know there are a lot of hardcore Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans out there, so I know sharing this with you guys would probably be the better case. So yeah, and I am looking forward to getting into this show. Huge Marvel fan, so I am looking forward to getting into the show. You know, if my shirt wasn't evidence enough, then I don't really know what is. I mean, just ignore the DC poster. I'm kidding. I love both. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this one. Don't really know what this season is about. I don't know when the Hydra stuff comes in, or any of the other Avengers level stuff crosses into the show. But I do hope / think that this does still work as a standalone series, and it's not solely based on Avengers references every 10 minutes and stuff like that. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have. So, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, Episode 2, titled 084. Let's go.
It's gonna be blue skies from here on out.
Blue skies, huh? And people flying out into said blue skies? I suppose so. Oh, this is going to be like a 16 hours earlier thing, or like a 4 hours earlier thing. I think it 19 hours earlier. Close enough.
She doesn't think like us. Exactly.
You need someone who thinks outside of the box, Ward. Someone who thinks like a hacker.
Team goes in, determines if it's useful or if it poses a threat. The last one turned out to be pretty interesting.
And what was the last one?
A hammer.
Oh yeah, when he went to investigate the landing of Thor's hammer. So wait, is that what an 084 is? Like, in the investigation of mysterious shit?
Well, if it gets out, I might need you to create some kind of diversion. Put the public on the wrong scent.
So everything that I'm against.
Yep.
So S.H.I.E.L.D. is basically the US government's Area 51. So all the weird shit is kept and covered up.
Exactly as we found it.
Whoa. That does not look very Incan.
It's nice to have a trusted friend who has your back.
Whoa. Nice eye for detail there, Wardy boy. Uh-huh. So S.H.I.E.L.D. aren't the only ones here. Definitely not the only ones here.
Philip?
Camilla?
Camilla?
Do you mind?
After you.
Reyes. They know each other?
Enough for a proper hello.
Apparently they do.
Commandante, I'm sure we can find a way to resolve this respectfully in a way that gives your...
Whoa!
Rebels.
Oh, jeez, an attack.
Whoa!
Can you really just...
Oh, wait, you did not just pull that out of the wall.
Could he really pull... I thought they said it formed before the temple did or something.
Coming out of this.
Could he really just pull that out of there?
We don't know what will happen.
Nice. He's got a staff of... Whoa! Oh, I think with Stark as a consultant, S.H.I.E.L.D. has some great... Oh, nice save. Nice save, mate. Nice save. Yeah, they got some great tech with Stark as a consultant. Is it the kind of thing where any like sudden movements are gonna make it activate or blow up or something? Like, is it a fragile piece of tech?
It's fueled by Tesseract technology. Hydra, World War II, Captain America.
Damn.
It's full of lethal amounts of gamma radiation.
Oh crap! Like the same that Zola was using to power the Hydra weapons.
Do you need anything else before I go check on the device fueled by evil that's sitting in our cargo hold?
I don't know. I take it she's seen a lot in her time and doesn't really want to go back to it.
I use normal English. Words like duck and run and might blow us to pieces.
Oh, wow. Wow, congratulations, Agent Ward. You managed to string 3 words together in a sentence.
Is everyone all right?
Oh, you can definitely tell the difference between the bronze and the brains here.
You have 2 PhDs in fields I can't pronounce, and Fitz, you are a rocket scientist.
Huh.
So work it out.
It's very handy.
This is a weapon powerful enough
To melt through 50 feet of solid rock to bury itself. Imagine what it could do to a person.
Yeah, or an airplane.
So it's a
Hunger Games?
bomb of sorts. Like if it melts through surfaces, like that's what the Tesseract did on Red Skull's ship. It just burned right through the floor.
Got it.
And then went splash in the ocean.
100 people with 1% of the solution? That'll get it done. I think that's beautiful.
Everyone plays their part. It's a big group, they make a big difference. It works out.
Hand me the bottle.
No,
What's he gonna do?
but you're still nursing the one you got.
I'm not the only one.
Oh no. Damn. Oof. Oh shit. May be careful. May be careful. Oh damn. So I'm guessing Camilla and her peeps want this thing for themselves, huh? They want the tech for themselves.
As soon as I saw your team,
What's wrong with the team? They got brains, they got brawn, they got a pilot.
She's the cavalry.
I told you never to call me that.
You don't need to come up with the whole solution. Just part of it, right?
Everyone comes up with an equal amount.
Pieces solving a puzzle.
Aliens descended on New York, remember? They don't care whose colors you wear, they just care who's in the way.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
should be working together, not fighting.
You use stuff like that, it's like Thor said. It's a signal that the Earth is ready for higher forms of war.
Blame it on rebels.
So unless you can sustain...
What the hell was that?
Did you just break her thumb?
Her wrist.
She broke her... Oh yeah, 'cause that's the thing you can do, isn't it? Break your thing to slip it out of the handcuffs. Oh,
What's
you
next?
badass.
No, but you gave them something better. A common enemy.
Okay, we're sure, right? Everyone sure?
They
We're all
work
on board.
together and they solve the issue.
No freezing up.
Requesting confirmation on a change in course. Over.
Oh crap, is he gonna do it?
or they all learn what a 30,000-foot drop feels like.
Oh
Agent
crap.
Coulson, are you there? You have course confirmation. You are cleared direct to the slingshot.
Come on, Coulson. Come on, Coulson. Okay, come on, Droney. Come on, Sneezy. You can do this, Sneezy.
It's gonna be blue skies from here on out.
Wait.
Simmons.
Is he gonna blow a hole in the... Oh, he's activating the bomb. Ooh. Oh. Okay. Now we're at present time. Come on, mate. There we go. There we go. Bring us back up. Bring us back up. Oh, crap. You just don't give up, do you? Oh, that's gotta hurt. There we go. Bring us back up. There we go.
Hold on!
Oh, crap. Oh, nice save. Very nice save. Emergency life for after the rescue. It's been an eventful second mission for them. A very eventful second mission.
The 084 is cooling and stable, but we should call HQ and get it to the slingshot as soon as possible.
The slingshot. The slingshot. Location classified. So this must be an Area 51 for S.H.I.E.L.D. So S.H.I.E.L.D. is the area with 51 collectors, but the slingshot is Area 51.
You guys totally did it back in the day, right?
That's classified.
Wow. So all of a sudden hookups are classified, huh?
Despite our reservations. It was everyone's idea, sir.
Yeah, it's quite
A team effort.
Nice work.
I mean, it's gonna cost a shit ton for repairs, but still.
And 3.
Modern problems require modern solutions. Rising tide. What is your status? What is your status, Skye? I'm in. That's your status, really? Just after you joined the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you're ready to move in with the rising tide too?
My team acted with my authority.
Don't talk to me about authority. Do you know how much this plane costs? Talking to me about authority. You know, I have the authority to downgrade your ass to a Winnebago. So don't have Fitzsimmons going making modifications like a damn fish tank.
Yes, sir.
And the new girl, she's a risk.
I know, sir.
You know, sir.
Oh god, he just has shot for like 5 minutes and he's just... Oh god.
Talking to me about authority.
The say what again of the MCU, talking to me about the authority. Oh god, okay, that was a good episode. That was a fun episode. Wow, yeah, so, this episode, it seemed like it had its fun with, like, advanced tech and that kind of superhero-y stuff, but it seemed like it focused a lot more on team dynamics and what the team dynamics in this case specifically were. So obviously we have somewhat of an equal kind of distribution of brains and brawn and leadership. I mean, the main leadership goes towards Coulson himself, but when he is preoccupied with opponents, I think the leadership would be split between both May and Ward, and especially since those two are the brawn. And then you got the brains between Skye and predominantly between Fitzsimmons. So I like that that's their name within the show as well. Like the fans didn't have to come up with that for it to be a thing. Like it was just adopted from the show. Like Fitzsimmons, oh yeah. But I am aware that that's a ship. I don't know how big of a ship, but I am aware that that's a ship. But yeah, no, this one definitely focused more on that whole brains and brawn kind of team dynamic, and especially since, like Gemma said, it's their second mission together. They have not been through a lot together. They've not been through a lot together. They have not been through enough together to actually be able to understand each other, so communication is definitely an obstacle, especially on the whole technical scientific lingo between Fitz and Ward, and his constant request for Fitz to speak English in front of him, like duck and what was it, goose, or just like blowing the plane up and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think this one definitely took the time to actually introduce how they kind of come together as a team in different situations, like when it goes to like actually having the time to research stuff and see what's what, and then an attack comes in and then they're captured and all this kind of stuff puts different kinds of pressures on them, and it could different kind of timestamps on them as well, so they have like a very, very finite amount of time to actually solve the problem. And you know, like in the end, it was nice to see that they actually got to the point where they all understood we got to work together. On this particular mission, it's not just gonna be like one person comes up with an entire plan and then the rest of us enact it. But it's like, you know, we all come up with our own pieces, they all blend together, and at the end of the day, we kick ass, save our leader, and save the plane and the world as well. So that was really cool to see. So the rising tide. So I think I do remember from the first episode, I think that was like the rising tide of the stuff that Skye had going on in her van with her voice modulated transmissions and whatnot. So I think so as far as I'm aware, they are like kind of like a hacktivist group, like focused, I think, well, based on Skye's work, I think kind of focused on like, you know, freedom of speech and, you know, letting the public know what's happening, and, you know, and in this episode she said, you know, like the rising tide is all about, you know, it's not about one person having the idea and everyone else following along, it's about 100 people having 1% of the entire idea and everyone contributing in their own way and everyone fighting for like one goal and everyone fighting for a common cause, as opposed to like, you know, like as opposed to the typical criminal elements that come with the connotation of hacktivist and whatnot. So I think that really helped Ward understand that, you know, they are a team here, they need to work together to get through stuff. Like some of them have strengths that others don't, some of them have weaknesses they need to work on, but at the end of the day, they are a team. They're not stuck together, they are given the opportunity to work together, so they need to use that opportunity to the best of their ability, and in this episode, they clearly showed they did. So that was very, very fun to see. But you know, I think because of that kind of typical kind of hacktivist, criminal kind of connotation that comes with it, they are disliked by Ward, and I think that's part of the reason why Ward had an initial distrust and kind of lack of faith in Skye as like a new recruit, because of her past with the rising tide. So it was good to see that explored. But Skye is recruited as a consultant, and I assume, like, you know, I assume it's because she is good with computers themselves. So like Coulson did say, like, oh, if stuff like this gets out, then we're gonna need you to send out another message and keep the public away from the scent of all of this stuff, and, you know, give us a good opportunity to cover this up and sort it out ourselves. And Stark is also a consultant, so I think that makes sense to me, because I think in Winter Soldier, when they came up with the new helicarriers with the repulsor technology, Fury did say that, you know, we upgraded the old ones to these new repulsor ones, and, you know, like as a suggestion from Stark after he had a look at our old turbines and stuff. So so that happened, and I think, you know, I think even when S.H.I.E.L.D. was founded, like Howard was well, I don't think he was a consultant, but I think he was like a scientist working with them and for them. So yeah, I think Stark with this one, like, I think now that the Avengers are formed, I think Stark is primarily a member of, feels weird saying is, and feels very, very painful saying is, but Stark is primarily a member of the Avengers, but he is also like a part-time kind of consultant for S.H.I.E.L.D. And that force blast stick, that thing that Ward used, that definitely shouts Stark to me, or at least, you know, some like kind of new tech that he's commissioned for them. which is cool. So she's a consultant. What else? So Tahiti. So I mean, Tahiti is a name I've heard being bounced around back and forth. I think it was towards the I think it was around the time season 2 was there. I think it was around the time like I was seeing season 2 like trailers and whatnot on TV. I think it was around the time season 2 was airing that I heard like on Twitter and whatnot like the word Tahiti being bounced around a lot. So more than just the location, methinks. But Coulson did say it was where he was sent to after his resurrection as a kind of recovery point or something like that, or it had something to do with his resurrection. But yeah, I think the way it's kind of used within this fandom, I think it's more than just a location. But I don't know exactly what's going on with it. I think I don't know. Again, I don't know what to think. I've never gotten too far into this show before. I don't know what's happening. I know of certain tie-ins. I know of these names and whatnot. But besides from that, I don't really know what else to expect. Or what to think. So I'm just going off of what I hear. And Tahiti, again, it's been mentioned a couple of times. I remember it being mentioned a few times. So it seems more intriguing than just it being like a post resurrection holiday resort. So yeah, Tahiti. What else? So the tech was powered by the Tesseract. I think they said it pre-existed the temple itself, as in like it landed and then the temple formed around it. So that made me think, oh, it's like probably like something ancient, like alien or like human made, but then that wouldn't really make sense. Like, where would they get the resources for something like that? But then they said it's German made. So then that means that not realistically when like before the temple was actually formed, but back when like Hydra was still around. It was after the fall of Hydra. And Peru wanted to commission that tech, and Camilla and her police crew were after it because they wanted to use it to take over Peru, because I think that thing basically is a bomb and it's powered by the Tesseract. Fitz mentioned like it's powered by the Tesseract, like World War II stuff, Hydra, Captain America, and Zola used the Tesseract to build those guns that like when you fight like it disintegrated people, and the Tesseract itself, it teleported Red Skull away, but then as soon as it landed on the floor, it just burned through the floor like it was some kind of like acid cube or something. Like it literally burned through the floor and through the pipes in the ship, and then it just went splash in the ocean. But we've seen it being handled by others since then, and nothing's really happened. Like long after that, in the first Avengers, we saw Fury handling it. We've seen Tony handling it with his iron hand. We've seen Carol handling it. We've seen Loki handling it. Loki's handled it a bunch. But yeah, I think maybe I don't know. I think the Tesseract is that in its like in that form, like the pure form, I suppose would be the Space Stone itself. But it is powered by the Tesseract. So like that kind of tech, it would have had to been designed and created by Hydra themselves. But then after the fall of Hydra, it was lost and it fell into the hands of the Peruvians, and all that sort of stuff went down. So again, it's still they're still managing to write in some cool comic booky like advanced tech kind of stuff, whilst maintaining that kind of story of this being like a teamwork centric kind of episode. So yeah, that was that. What else? So May is known as the Cavalry, and I can only assume it's because she's very, very capable of handling herself out in the field against many opponents, and when she comes along, it is bringing the cavalry along. She is able to kick ass, able to kick multiple asses, and she does it very well. But she's not that kind of person anymore, I don't think. She's very adamant on staying out of the field. I think maybe she's seen too much or seen enough for her to be comfortable with it, or maybe she's just, tired of actually fighting, or like maybe she actually did see something and it just didn't really sit well with her and she wanted to stay out the field. But yeah, her and fighting, as much as it looks badass, like she does not feel too comfortable with it, and she prefers flying the plane or being, you know, behind the scenes somewhat. So yeah, I'm hoping that doesn't mean they cut down on how much we see of her, but I think I do hope we get some backstory to that and to see why. But you know, so far she does seem like a very, very distant character. Like, she doesn't try and interact with the others. She keeps to herself mostly. And she seems very kind of cold and stoic and just generally like hardened by her past. So yeah, again, hoping for some backstory on that. But so far, she seems like a pretty cool character. So definitely looking forward to more of her. And the rest of the team as well. And again, I think that's what this episode mainly struck me as. It was a teamwork-centric episode. Like, it gave them a threat, or multiple threats, and it made them it pushed them into situations, and like where like the pressure was high and the time was low and all of that stuff, and the stakes were high, and it forced people who had barely interacted with each other in the past to actually work together, put their minds together to come up with a solution. And it actually pulled off the teamwork aspect very well without it needing to be full of, you know, full of like high budget drama or CGI or anything like that. I actually just put people's chemistry together and just, you know, told them, get along, we got a threat here, you haven't got enough time, people are going to die, there's stakes here, so just work together and, you know, save the day. So, you know, that it really worked out well in that sense. But what else? Slingshot. That's where the Tesseract tech, the Tessa tech, I'm going to call it the Tessa tech. The 084 just seems too general, because anything can be an 084. Even like the Colton said that Thor's hammer was 084. So yeah, so it's like that's what an 084 is, just like weird shit that pops up that they have to cover up before the public lays their eyes on it. Which Thor's hammer, people unfortunately did. Like, Stanley tried to move it broke his truck in half, and others tried to lift it, they couldn't. And then S.H.I.E.L.D. set up their whole base around it. But an 084 is just that kind of, it seems too general to call it that. But the Tessa tech is sent to the Slingshot, and it's not sent there for storage. I think not so much for storage as it is for destruction. So it is kind of the Area 51 of blowing up items too dangerous to be in the hands of mankind. Like Coulson said, it's like too dangerous to be in anywhere, like too dangerous to be left anywhere on Earth, or to be left like near anyone's possession on Earth. So it had to be destroyed for the good of mankind. So I think that's what they do. Like they sent that rocket up, and then they blow it up in the air, and then it lands somewhere safe where they can clean up what's left, if there's anything left. So yeah, that is the Slingshot. I think I have heard of a series called Marvel Slingshot. I don't know if that's directly related to this or if that's something else. I do know that there is a series called Marvel Slingshot. So yeah, I think the name rang a bell that way, because I was like, I've seen a poster with Slingshot on it. So yeah, but I highly doubt it's just like I highly doubt it's just clips of rockets being sent up and exploding in space. I'm sure there's much more drama to it than that. But yeah, that is Slingshot, and that is also all I have on this episode so far. It was nice to meet Camilla Reyes. So her and Philip had some history in the past, but then she kind of had her ideals changed with the existence of this technology and the kind of her desire to rule over Peru with this technology. So her and Coulson bumped bodies back in the day, but here they bumped heads in a much less friendly way. So yeah, but she's still alive. I think she's probably just being taken into custody or something. But yeah, it's always good to see people from Phil's past popping up here and there. I can only assume we'll meet more. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have. I don't know like what kind of role the Rising Tide's going to play. Maybe a group that tries to get Skye to infiltrate S.H.I.E.L.D., or maybe she changes her mind down the road after being with the agents for more time after being with this group. And then they try and get her back, or maybe there's more to the Rising Tide that we don't know yet. I don't know, but I am definitely looking forward to it. But yeah, I think, what other 084s have there been, or could there have been in the past? Like Captain America? Maybe like when they first uncovered Captain America in the ice. When they first uncovered him in the ice, yeah, because I think that opened with government dudes finding the ship that crashed, and then they spotted the shield frozen in ice. Yeah, he could have been an 084. Yeah. Like, I feel like there must have been a time when the 084 protocol actually came into action. So I feel like maybe that could have been Cap, because I don't know what before then, because I think Howard Stark finding the Tesseract would probably, I mean, that probably not, no, because I mean that's like, unless someone went fishing really deep in the ocean, then I don't really think they would run across the Tesseract. But I think stuff that could easily be uncovered by civilian people, like even out in the Arctic, like a ranger or something, stuff that could, this stuff that people could run across out in the open, that counts as an 084. So like Cap's body and shield, and Thor's hammer, and this Tesseract tech, and other kind of stuff, that probably counts as an 084. So it's good that they have a protocol in place for all that. It's good. But I mean, again, this is the MCU's like Area 51, like US government type stuff going on, so it makes sense. They have stuff in place, procedures and protocols and all that. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this episode. A strong team dynamic episode. Looking forward to how they build the team on from here, and looking forward to seeing what more adventures they have. But yeah, that was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, Episode 2, titled 084. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then burn that like button. Comment what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next for the agents. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys next time.